Alright, animation lovers, grab your popcorn and settle in because we're diving deep into the latest release from Illumination Studios, Despicable Me 4. This new adventure brings back our favorite reformed villain, Gru, along with his quirky family and the ever-hilarious minions. But brace yourselves because this movie left us with some burning questions. Will there be a Despicable Me 5? And why does Vector, the original villain, make a surprise appearance at the end if he was supposed to be stuck on the moon? Let's break down the movie's story, its core message, and all the juicy details you need to know. Despicable Me 4 follows Gru as he faces off against a blast from his past, Maxime Le Mal, a villain with the uncanny power to control cockroaches. Talk about creepy. Gru's entire family is forced to relocate to a new city to hide from Maxime, but as you'd expect, their peace is short-lived. Maxime tracks them down, putting Gru's family in grave danger. The movie climaxes with an epic battle where Gru must dig deep to connect with the goodness still lingering in his son, Gru Jr. The heart of Despicable Me 4 lies in the evolving relationship between Gru and his son, Gru Jr. At the start, they are emotionally distant, with Gru Jr. showing a distinct lack of warmth towards his dad. This might be because babies often form stronger attachments to their mothers, but there's also the fact that Gru's busy life as a reformed villain doesn't leave much room for father-son bonding. As the story progresses, Gru begins to spend more time with his son, embarking on adventures that slowly but surely help them connect. In the final showdown, Maxime turns Gru Jr. into a cockroach and sets him against his father. Gru, desperate to reach his son, expresses his love in a heartfelt moment that breaks through the cockroach spell. This connection is built on the foundation laid throughout the movie, where Gru has learned to care for and spend meaningful time with his son. The movie ends with Gru and Gru Jr. closer than ever, driving home the message of family unity and the importance of sticking together even through tough times. Now, the million-dollar question, will there be a fifth Despicable Me movie? Illumination Studios hasn't officially confirmed anything yet, but fans have reason to be optimistic. Chris Renaud, the director of the previous movies, has shown interest in continuing the franchise. Plus, given the massive success of the Gru and Minion saga, it seems likely that we'll see more adventures in the future. In a revealing interview, the co-director of the franchise was asked why the characters don't age. The executive explained that they want to preserve the characters' essence at their current ages, similar to how The Simpsons keep their characters frozen in time. This suggests that the Despicable Me characters will remain ageless, allowing for endless future stories. The Gru and Minion series is Illumination Studios' most profitable venture, which is why we've seen movie after movie and even prequels. While it's hard to predict the exact plot of a potential fifth movie, there are some tantalizing hints. Rumors on the internet suggest that the original idea for Despicable Me 4 involved all the previous villains uniting to face Gru. Although this idea was scrapped, the cameos of the villains in prison at the end of the movie pay homage to this discarded plotline. If there were to be a fifth movie, the co-director hinted that a logical storyline would involve the main villains, El Macho, Vector, and Balthazar Brat, teaming up against Gru. Reusing villains is a common trope in cinema, and this could be a thrilling way to potentially close the saga. Alternatively, Illumination might gift us another Minions-focused movie, as these little yellow mischief makers are a goldmine for the studio. In Despicable Me 4, the Minions played a significant role, even though their subplot was somewhat separate from the main story. One of the biggest surprises in Despicable Me 4 is the return of Vector. Fans remember him as the villain who was last seen stranded on the moon, so how did he end up back on Earth? Illumination released a short film centered on Vector, which reveals that he tried to escape the moon but ended up trapped on Mars. The short film shows some minions attempting to help Vector, but their efforts initially fail. However, it's implied that after the events of the short film, the minions eventually managed to rescue Vector out of pity, leaving him in prison, which ties into his appearance at the end of Despicable Me 4. Despicable Me 4 kicks off with Gru driving to the Lieben School of Villainy, where he undergoes training to become one of the world's top villains. He's tailed by two minions riding a mini version of his iconic supercar. Among his batchmates, Gru meets his nemesis, Maxime Le Mal, who taunts him about his bald head and mocks his failed moon mission. Maxime introduces his girlfriend, Valentina, and during a speech, Gru reveals himself as an agent of the AVL, Anti-Villain League, and captures Maxime with the help of other agents. Back home, Gru reunites with his family, daughters Margot, Edith, and Agnes, and his baby boy Gru Jr. However, the baby seems to have a grudge against Gru, and it's unclear why. Gru receives a visit from the former AVL director, Mr. Silas Ramsbottom, who warns him that Maxim has escaped from jail and is out for revenge. To keep his family safe, they decide to move to Mayflower for rehabilitation. Gru still has the shrink ray from the first movie, and they prepare to leave with their minions in tow. In their new home, Gru and his family adopt new identities to stay under the radar. Lucy becomes a hairdresser, and Gru takes up a cover job in solar panels, a nod to his failed moon mission. They meet their new neighbor, Harry Prescott, and his daughter, Poppy. Meanwhile, Maxim's pet cockroach infiltrates the family's party, revealing his plan to kidnap Gru Jr. and turn him into a cockroach. Gru takes Margot to her new school, where they encounter Poppy again, who seems suspicious of him. Silas Ramsbottom announces a program to turn minions into mega minions using a super serum. 5 minions are selected for the program. Meanwhile, Lucy causes a short circuit in her salon, giving her the chance to escape. At this point, Gru and his family are juggling their new lives while dealing with the constant threat of Maxime. Maxim, with his cockroach army, is a formidable opponent. His plan to turn Gru Jr. into a cockroach is particularly sinister, adding a dark twist to the plot. Gru and Poppy find themselves on a wild goose chase for a honey badger at the Lieben School of Villainy. During their adventure, they inject the honey badger with a serum, waking up an old lady who chases them. They manage to escape using her vehicle, but not without drawing attention to themselves. The old lady informs Maxim about Gru and Poppy's location, leading to a tense showdown. Gru and Lucy's attempt at normalcy is further disrupted when the old lady arrives at their house, looking for the honey badger. This scene adds to the chaotic nature of their lives, balancing humor with suspense. The climax sees Maxim arriving to kidnap Gru Jr., turning him into a mini cockroach in the process. The transformation is a pivotal moment, highlighting the emotional distance between father and son. Gru, in a desperate bid to save his son, expresses his love, breaking the cockroach spell. The movie concludes with Gru and Gru Jr. defeating Maxim and strengthening their bond. In the aftermath, Gru visits the villain detention center to make peace with Maxime. They end up performing together on stage with cameos from Valentina, Vector, El Macho, Balthazar Brat, Mr. Perkins, and the principal, all in prison. This scene not only provides closure, but also leaves room for potential future stories. As we speculate on the future of the franchise, it's clear that Despicable Me 4 has set the stage for more adventures. The co-director's hints about a possible team-up of the main villains or another Minions movie keep fans excited. With the characters remaining ageless, the possibilities are endless. In conclusion, Despicable Me 4 is a fun-filled, action-packed movie that continues to explore themes of family, redemption, and the endearing bond between a father and his children. Despite leaving some questions unanswered, it paves the way for more stories in the beloved franchise. For the best experience, make sure to catch it on the big screen, and who knows, maybe we'll see Gru, the Minions, and the whole gang back for another epic adventure soon. Alright, animation lovers, that's a wrap on our deep dive into Despicable Me 4. Stay tuned for more updates and keep those minion-loving hearts beating for the next chapter in Gru's ever-exciting saga. Until next time, stay animated.